this is Team J, and we will be discussing Chapter 16, Performance Appraisal Systems. Our scenario is, "What?" asked Marcus Green empathetically. "You've got to be kidding. That's just not fair. I've been here for 3.5 years, and I've only received one raise, and that may well have been nothing. Why did she get another raise? She's probably making more money than I am, and she's only been here for a little more than a year." With a look of consummation, Marcus lowers his voice and asks his colleagues at the lunch table, "Where did you hear this from anyway?" Never mind. I don't want to discuss it any further," Marcus chimed as he finished scarfing up the remainder of his lunch and left the table in a huff. Marcus's fellow pharmacy technicians at Community Hospital were equally upset that Susan Bostic allegedly had received another raise, but they were not sure that they had done the right thing by telling Marcus about it. Marcus, having worked at Community Hospital for nearly 4 years, generally was regarded as the best tech in the pharmacy. He filled orders twice as fast as anyone else and always showed up on time and came to work on short notice when others were called in sick, even though he was perhaps a bit more prone to making dispensing errors and was well known for being a hothead. Susan Bostic, on the other hand, seemed to be the boss's pet. Indeed, she was regarded as a pleasant person who got along with everyone, especially the director, Cynthia Brodel, with whom she shared an appreciation for poetry and theater. Marcus continued to stew over his plight throughout the afternoon. He didn't really feel like looking for another job, making phone calls, filling out forms, and going on interviews. But he also did not understand why other technicians seemed to be rewarded at Community Hospital Pharmacy more frequently with raises than he did. He wondered just what about his performance was not up to par. He did not recall being formally evaluated in over 2 years when he and Miss Brodel had a few words on his suggestions that he often had to pick up slack for other pharmacists not doing their jobs. Meanwhile, Terrence Whitfield, the assistant director, appeared in Cynthia's office to discuss his relief that the apparent exodus of staff occurring during the previous few months appeared to be over.
Discuss the rationale behind the implementation of a systematic performance appraisal system within an organization. A performance appraisal system can be defined as a formal assessment of how well employees are performing their job. It is used to help communicate the organization's mission and goals, a method on which to base organizations' reward, and a tool to improve the performance of each employee within an organization. The rationale for why organizations implement this system can be as follows. Legal issues. Title 7 of the Civil Service Performance Act is a federal law that prohibits employers from discriminating against employees based on their sex, race, color, and nationality. Performance appraisal can provide documentation of an employee's progress, performance improvement, and demonstrate fairness in promotion and termination. Secondly, communication. It ensures that employees understand what is expected from them, the role they play within an organization, and how their performance will be measured. Next, productivity of labor. Appraisals are conducted to improve employees' performance by providing direct feedback on their strengths and areas they need to improve in. By incorporating career planning during these sessions can help motivate employees to perform better. Next, equality in rewards. It provides a means for accurate and equal distribution of an organization's rewards based on employees' past performance. Lastly, financial position. It assists in reducing operating costs, avoid costly litigation, and reduce replacement costs.
Identify several types of performance appraisal processes. Performance appraisal methods are mainly categorized into 3 broad types: absolute, relative, and outcome-oriented. The absolute category includes 7 systems. In the essay method, the rater prepares a written statement describing the employee's strengths and weaknesses. In the checklist system, the rater answers yes or no to a series of questions about the employee's behavior. In the graphic rating appraisal, the rater indicates various employee traits and behaviors on a scale. In the behaviorally anchored rating scale, the rater employs highly descriptive scales to indicate the employee's tendency to demonstrate desirable behaviors. In the 360-degree feedback assessment, the employees rate themselves and comparisons are made with ratings done by various stakeholders. In the critical incident appraisal, the rater maintains a record of incidents indicative of both positive and negative behaviors of the employee. In the forced choice rating, the rater ranks a set of statements describing the employee's performance. The relative category includes 3 systems. In the alternation ranking method, the rater selects the most and least valued employee from the remaining pool of employees. In the paired comparisons method, each employee is compared with every other employee one at a time on each criterion. In the forced distribution system, the rater categorizes employees into one of 3 groups according to how well they meet expectations tendency. The outcome-oriented category includes 2 systems. In the management of objective processes, the rater establishes goals for the employees to achieve during the next period, and the employee is evaluated on his or her success. In the work standards approach, the rater sets a standard or an expected level of output and compares each employee's performance to the standard.
As described by Himani, here is a table showing performance appraisals and their advantages and disadvantages.
Describe how to conduct a performance appraisal interview and how to handle disagreements that may arise during or subsequent to the interview. The interview should be conducted in the following sequence. First, review and update the position description and performance standards. Second, discuss performance rating assigned to the employees using prescribed appraisal forms. Third, highlight strengths and accomplishments since the previous appraisal. Fourth, discuss objectives that were not reached since the previous review. Fifth, discuss performance and assist with career planning. During the review, it is important that the supervisor establish a comfortable and professional atmosphere while maintaining a positive tone when conducting the interview. Circumstances will still arise where the supervisor must address employee deficiencies. The following suggestions can help ease this process. First, limit criticisms to 1 or 2 major problems, and do not search for problems that do not exist. Second, reserve critical remarks until after some positive ones have been made. Third, maintain open dialogue with the employee and offer a chance for self-criticism, allowing the employee to suggest ways and a time frame to expect improvement. Fourth, avoid the use of terms that could be misconstrued, such as attitude, work ethic, professionalism, and weakness. It is important to remain supportive, handle disagreements diplomatically, avoid defensiveness, and reinforce points of agreement. The interview should be concluded with an expression of confidence in the employee, and the supervisor should thank the employee for their time spent in the interview and for his or her contributions to the organization.
Discuss the linkage of performance appraisal results with the proper allocation of organizational rewards. The allocation of rewards cannot be arbitrary or even perceived as arbitrary by the staff, as it might be in the case of Marcus Green. Evidence suggests that employees in service organizations such as pharmacies who have equitable performance appraisal and reward systems to treat customers more fairly. Many performance appraisal systems allow the manager to either rate the employee on a given set of attributes or provide feedback on how they might compare to the benchmarks of the work standards created by the department or organization. The qualifications of performance into score or ranking create a foundation from which to base rewards.
Discuss the importance of formal and informal feedback and describe best practices for providing informal feedback and praise to employees to maximize their work satisfaction, commitment, and productivity. Formal performance appraisals are closely tied to employee motivation, commitment, and performance. While this formal feedback is vital to decrease turnover, it must also be supplemented with frequent informal feedback. Informal feedback is given immediately and generally comes in the form of constructive criticism or praise. Constructive criticism may provide clarification for employees who have uncertainties. For example, if an employee is not performing to standards, they should be instructed on how to correct their actions as long as it's done in a professional manner. Generally, employees should not be criticized in the presence of others. On the other hand, giving praise may be done in public, but only if the employee truly deserves it and if the praise is not overdone. Giving employees compliments for positive behavior is important in maximizing work satisfaction. For instance, recognizing that an employee achieved a goal and giving them praise for it can build their confidence. Other suggestions on giving praise include addressing the person by their first name, complimenting a specific action, and explaining why that action was important to you and the company. This type of feedback, coupled with formal feedback, are both crucial to maintaining employee work satisfaction.
In conclusion, supervisors often view performance appraisals as undesirable tasks, but careful planning and implementation should make them less onerous. Performance appraisals are closely linked to employee motivation, performance, commitment, and turnover. Numerous systems are available, each of which has its strengths and drawbacks. The formal appraisal must be accompanied by frequent, substantive, and formal feedback. The appraisal interview is the key to success of the appraisal system. The allocation of organizational rewards must be linked closely to the results of the appraisal process. Thank you.